Oh, good evening, this is Hound Dog Steve wishing you a very pleasant evening, and here's an interesting article from RT once again. Dollar will crash in 2021, US should brace for double dip recession, Economist warns. Next year will be brutal for the US currency, according to Yale University senior fellow Stephen Roach. He said that his seemingly crazed idea that the dollar will crash shouldn't seem so crazy anymore. We've got data that's confirmed both the saving and current account dynamic in a much more dramatic fashion than even I was looking for, Roach told CNBC. According to him, the current account deficit in the United States, which is the broadest measure of our international imbalance with the rest of the world, suffered a record deterioration in the second quarter. He added that this so-called net national savings rate, which is the sum savings of individuals, businesses and the government sector, also recorded a record decline in the second quarter, going back into negative territory for the first time since the global financial crisis. Last June, the Economist predicted the collapse of the US dollar could happen in the next year or two, maybe more. Now he sees it happening by the end of 2021. Lacking in saving and wanting to grow, we run these current account deficits to borrow surplus savings, and that always pushes the currencies lower, he said. The dollar is not immune to that time-honoured adjustment. Roach, the former chairman of Morgan Stanley Asia, also put the probability of a double-dip recession in the US above 50%. Well, no kidding. They have absolutely destroyed their economy. They have gutted their manufacturing sector over the last 30, 40 or 50 years. There are no real jobs in America now except service sector jobs and financial sector jobs. Farming is at an all-time low as far as an employer is concerned. Yes, there is definitely going to be a double-dip recession because all of those businesses, all of the service businesses have been the ones that have been most affected by the lockdown. So there's no doubt that this is going to be a troubling time, and the dollar, being the reserve currency of the world, the US dollar through the Federal Reserve has allowed the government to basically print an endless stream of money, and this has completely distorted every other currency around the world. And they've been inflating their currency, and they are heading for an inflationary event, and that is going to have fallout that is going to resound through every other currency. And so I can quite see that we are going into a dollar reset because this is just completely unsustainable. As we head into flu season with the new infection rates moving back up again with mortality unacceptably high, which is not exactly true, the risk of an aftershock is not something you can dismiss, he said. The record of history suggests that this is not a time unlike what the frothy markets are doing to bet that this is different. Yep, and well, the reason for that, I can explain that quite quickly, is that this is an election year. And in an election year, the markets always do well. I can assure you that Donald Trump has basically told Steve Mnuchin, I don't care what you have to do, you keep that stock market roiling until after the election. So if you want to play the up and downs of the stock market, you could do that till the November election takes place, and then I think you're going to see all hell is going to break loose as the demands on these loans can't be met by any country. You know, all of these countries around the world are basically over their heads in debt, and not the least is the EU, and they're running out of bonds to buy that they can print money against. So they are in exceptionally poor shape over there. So I think we're looking at a difficult winter and an incredibly difficult spring and year coming up in 2021. I think that all bets are off, and that the outbreak has really changed everything significantly. Manufacturing sector has had to change. Critical manufacturing is now trying to be, brought back to North America or to Europe, and we're not ready for that. We have to start from scratch, and that is going to take some time, probably 2-3 years. So I would suggest we're going to have a difficult 2 or 3 years. Okay, well, if you enjoyed this article, please like, comment and subscribe below. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve signing off, wishing you a very pleasant evening, and we'll talk very, very shortly. You take care now. Bye.